On October 1st, 2024, Iran launched a significant missile attack on Israel, firing over 180 missiles in a coordinated strike. This unprecedented escalation marked a new chapter in the ongoing conflict between the two nations, illustrating the deep-seated animosities and complex geopolitical dynamics at play. Iranian officials justified the attack as retaliation for the assassination of Ismail Haniyeh, the political leader of Hamas, in Tehran on July 31st, 2023. The incident exemplified the cycle of violence and revenge that characterizes the region, signaling a potential shift in the balance of power. The conflict between Iran and Israel is rooted in decades of historical events, ideological differences, and strategic interests. Following the Islamic Revolution of 1979, Iran transitioned from a pro-Western stance to one of vehement opposition against the United States and its allies, including Israel. This shift gave rise to a regime that actively sought to challenge Israeli and American influence in the Middle East. The Iranian government began supporting various anti-Israel groups, notably Hezbollah in Lebanon and Palestinian factions like Hamas, providing financial assistance, military training, and weapons to confront Israeli interests. In Islam, the concept of jihad, struggling in the way of Allah, has been interpreted by some to include the defense of oppressed Muslims. Iranian leadership often frames their support for Palestinian groups in this context, portraying their actions as a religious duty to protect fellow Muslims from oppression, as emphasized in the Quran. And what is the matter with you, that you fight not in the cause of Allah and for the oppressed among men, women, and children who say, "Our Lord, take us out of this city of oppressive people, and appoint for us from yourself a protector, and appoint for us from yourself a helper." Quran 475. Ideologically, Iran's ruling clerics view the existence of Israel as a significant affront to Islam, labeling it an illegitimate state. The Iranian regime frequently employs anti-Zionist rhetoric, framing its opposition as a struggle for Palestinian rights and liberation. Through proxy warfare, Iran has utilized groups like Hezbollah and various militias in Iraq and Syria to engage Israel indirectly, complicating Israel's security landscape and allowing Iran to challenge its military might without direct confrontation. The conflict has seen numerous military engagements and incidents that have heightened tensions, particularly with Israel conducting various attacks on Iranian interests. Notable incidents include 2010, Israel allegedly launched a cyber attack known as Stuxnet, targeting Iran's Natanz nuclear facility, damaging centrifuges and significantly slowing down Iran's nuclear program. 2012, Israeli airstrikes targeted weapon shipments in Syria intended for Hezbollah, a proxy of Iran, indicating Israel's willingness to strike Iranian interests beyond its borders. 2015, reports emerged of Israeli airstrikes against Iranian positions in Syria, specifically aimed at disrupting the supply lines to Hezbollah and preventing the transfer of advanced weaponry. 2016, an Israeli airstrike targeted an arms depot in Syria, reportedly containing weapons meant for Hezbollah, showcasing Israel's continued commitment to countering Iranian influence. 2018, Israel conducted a series of airstrikes in Syria against Iranian military facilities, claiming to have targeted hundreds of Iranian positions in the country. 2020, an Israeli airstrike reportedly targeted Iranian positions in Syria, killing several Iranian military advisors and further escalating tensions. 2021, Israel was accused of carrying out airstrikes on a facility in Syria, targeting an Iranian missile factory, which led to significant damage. 2022, Israel continued its pattern of airstrikes against Iranian facilities in Syria, with multiple strikes reported throughout the year aimed at preventing Iranian entrenchment. 2023. The assassination of Iranian military leader Qassem Soleimani in a U.S. drone strike on January 3rd heightened tensions, with Iran vowing retaliation against both the U.S. and its allies, including Israel. Recent developments have intensified the conflict further. Following the missile attack on October 7th, Iran's leadership reiterated its commitment to supporting resistance movements in the region. This incident exemplifies the ongoing cycle of retaliation as tensions continue to escalate. Iran's support for groups in Syria, Iraq, and Lebanon further challenges Israel, which aims to prevent Iranian entrenchment near its borders. The presence of Iranian-backed militias allows Iran to exert influence and threaten Israeli security, complicating the regional dynamics. As stated in the Quran, "And prepare against them whatever you are able of power and of steeds of war, by which you may terrify the enemy of Allah and your enemy," Quran 8:60. This emphasizes the importance of preparedness in defense. The international implications of this conflict are significant as well. The United States has historically supported Israel as a strategic ally in the Middle East, providing military aid and intelligence sharing. This support has further complicated Iran's position, especially as the U.S. has imposed sanctions on Iran to curb its nuclear ambitions. In summary, the Iran-Israel conflict is a multifaceted struggle, driven by historical animosities, ideological opposition, and strategic calculations. The recent missile attack serves as a stark reminder of the volatile nature of this conflict, with ramifications extending far beyond their borders, impacting regional stability and international relations. As the situation evolves, the potential for further escalation remains a pressing concern for all parties involved. The escalating conflict between Iran and Israel, highlighted by the recent missile attack, underscores the deep-rooted historical and ideological tensions that fuel this struggle. As the cycle of violence continues to claim innocent lives and destabilize the region, we are reminded of the Quran's call for reconciliation. And if two factions among the believers should fight, then make settlement between the two. Quran 49:9. In these challenging times, it is vital for leaders and citizens to prioritize dialogue and understanding over conflict. The choices we make today will shape the future and determine whether coexistence can triumph over division. The world is watching, and history will judge our actions.